Yeah, dude. Just booked the Airbnb for New York in
Fuck
June.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're only going for 2 nights, but this will be fun.
That's what everyone says is like the gold standard to be able to hit like all of your comedy needs and you could do it in 2 nights basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to go 2 days early. I just have to find somebody to crash with.
Yeah, that's a good idea
uh,
too. How expensive
because
are the Airbnbs and shit up there?
it's costing us like there's five of us, and it's costing us like 110 each
Okay, that's not, I mean,
for 2 nights. So
do
like
you
50.
each of you guys get your own bedroom or how does that go?
No, but everybody gets their own bed.
Okay, hey,
So
that's borderline, good enough.
yeah, yeah. We're staying in Astoria, which is like where we're staying is right by LaGuardia, and it's like a 25-minute train ride to Manhattan. So
Yeah, see, that's kind of the nice part too, is if you stay anywhere near New York, you can kind of pick your poison and just take the
yeah,
rapids. Although I've heard the subway is terrifying. For the subway is it's very dangerous.
I've heard After Dark.
Mhm.
It's not the greatest, but I don't know.
Nice and sketchy.
Yeah, but I thought it was cool as fuck last time we went.
Oh
The
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's just such a different lifestyle. I mean, that alone has got to be interesting. A
Yeah,
lot of people, I bet, though, man.
yeah.
Ugh. My only problem, man. I like being around people, like large groups of people, but in like short doses. Like I love the idea that I can just in Ohio, any congregated group can disperse so easily. There's nothing but cornfield out here. It's kind of
Yeah.
fantastic
Yeah, you're definitely in the middle of a shit ton of people
all the time, I bet.
all the time. Yeah. Um, but yeah, we're I don't know. I've heard Astoria is a good part of Queens, so it was either that or Brooklyn, and I don't really know the neighborhoods in Brooklyn to
No, no,
know which
can't.
ones are good and which ones are bad. I don't know. So I wasn't gonna like put us in a fucking bad situation. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just get one near Astoria because I know that's a decent part of New York.
I've heard good things about like the border of New Jersey and New York too. What is it, like Hoboken or something, or some along those lines? It's a
And
weird,
like
goofy H name.
Jersey City, Union City, like there's a bunch of places like that
Yeah,
real close by. But yeah, man, happy 420, I guess. Is that still a thing?
it
Uh,
is definitely still a thing. As long
yeah.
as I'm around, it will be.
I think I was more into it whenever I was like younger, like in high school
Yeah,
years. It, um, now I'm just like, I don't know who created 420 because I'm like it might be anti-Semitic. Why would they make the weed holiday Hitler's birthday? Like I don't
they're trying to bring balance to the force. You know what I mean? They're making it the chosen
maybe.
one. It's gonna even things out. Like 420 is such a terrible day because of Hitler's birthday. The only thing that could counteract that evil is weed.
Yeah, I mean maybe that's it.
I've tried looking into it and I can't find any actual, definitive this is why, you know, this is why we celebrate it on 420 or anything like that.
Yeah, well, the legend is, I mean, I've heard it a million times, but the legend is about the five high school kids in California in 19, I think it was 71, somewhere around there, 70, 71.
Hmm.
Um, they went I think it was they went searching for like an abandoned cannabis plant, and
Made
then
by apparently with a using a treasure map made by the grower. That's according to Google.
yeah, and I think the 420 was like the was like the GPS coordinates or something. I don't I'm not
It
sure.
says
That's I remember something like that.
says here that they used the term 420 in connection with like a plan. Like the plan was like 420 or something.
Oh, I thought it had something to do with like longitude and latitude or some shit.
That would make more sense. That would make a lot more sense than what I'm getting here from Time Magazine. Also, do I really trust Time Magazine? I don't know.
Right.
Underneath that, it's Fox is willing to give me an answer, and I trust that a lot less than I trust Time Magazine.
Yeah, that is like the story I always heard when I was in high school and shit. But I don't know. Who
I
knows?
I always figured that that was like a code or something, like the same way like 187. Like the reason that's in all the rap songs is because that's like a officer down or something like that.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
thinking that too. I thought it was like the police code or some shit. Or
it's kind of sad that we're able to come up with all these really plausible explanations, and none of those are right, apparently.
yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird, man. I think it became like after a while, it just became like, well, why is this? We don't even know why we're celebrating this. This is like a Facebook holiday. Like we don't even know why we're celebrating it. Like it's just
yeah, but it's nothing compared to the ridiculous holidays we have now, where like every other Thursday is like National Donut Day or some nonsense. Where
yeah,
it's like it's
yes,
definitely not. You guys just made that up, and everyone's gonna roll with it. Uh,
yeah. I forget what yesterday. I think it was like National Brothers Day or
yeah,
National.
it's some bullshit like that. That is definitely not a holiday. You guys just put that on the internet and expect us all to do it, and a lot of people do. I'm not knocking that,
Yeah,
especially if the holiday is to celebrate marijuana. That's great. I don't need much of an excuse to celebrate
yeah,
it. I'll take what I can get. Uh big fan though. I mean, I guess you're kind of right though. It is a bigger deal when you're younger. Uh I don't know if it's just the newness of it or the freedom behind it.
I think so. I think it's the same thing with drinking. Like drinking's more fun,
Yeah.
you know, when you're underage or like your first couple years of being 21, and then you're pretty much over it. You know, like it's.
I mean, I still like to drink. I apparently I have not grown up yet. I still do all these things. I think you just kind
Yeah,
of you graduate as to how you celebrate it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
back in the day, it was like, well, let's just get as high as possible. And now, I mean, I've achieved that. That's old news. Now it's about like what ridiculous stoner movies are you gonna watch on 420, or like what snack foods are you gonna partake in on 420? Now I'm getting into like my adult planning phase of it, and that's how I can
yeah.
tell I'm maturing with this.
I bought a large container of Sicilian olives from DeVita's today. That was my snack that I decided.
Snack of choice. I respect it.
Yeah.
Mine was chips and
Dude,
salsa. I don't know why. When I'm partaking, chips and salsa, man, it just does it for me.
yeah. Yeah, dude, I remember a big goal whenever we were in high school was to smoke weed in room 420 on 420. That was like a huge thing, and people did
Yeah.
it. It was the detention room.
How the fuck did you get away with it? Wouldn't the smell just linger in there for
Dude,
an
I
eternity?
don't know. Like that lady must not have had like any smell at all because like we thought we were slick. Like we'd like hit a pipe and then like in your backpack and then like blow it into your backpack. Doesn't
And
fucking do it, dude.
that's gonna trap the smell. No.
Yeah, it doesn't do shit, dude. And I don't know, Dr. Smokes is what we used to call him. The fucking everybody calls him something different, but the toilet paper roll with a bounce sheet over it.
Yeah, with the dryer sheets in it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a little rubber band if you want to hold a dryer sheet on there.
Yeah.
Oh
We
yeah.
we called him Dr. Smokes. I don't know what other people call him.
We called it a sploof, but the guy that told us that was the name of it had real questionable judgment. So I really don't know if that's actually the name. I wouldn't take anything that guy's got to say. Uh,
Yeah.
seriously.
I used to smoke in my bedroom in high school, and my parents never knew because I always used one of those. It
That's
tasted like
impressive.
shit. I mean,
What's scary though is when you look at the dryer sheets in it after a while, you're like, holy shit, is that what my lungs look like?
yeah.
They start
Yeah.
to get real nasty and brown and stuff.
Yeah. It always tasted like shit too. Like that was
Yeah. You don't really get to taste like the weed. It's just bounce dryer sheet. You get high though.
yeah, you can't look up Dr. Smoke now. Now it's just a bunch of fucking vape
Oh,
shops.
Of
shit.
course.
Yeah,
Do you remember the first time you smoked weed?
I do. Um, I remember I was, fuck, what year was it? I was 15, I think. I think I was 15. It was Halloween. Um, it was like around Halloween, and we were gonna go bowling. And I remember I was pissed because I found out that two of my best friends, John and Jeremy, who I'm still friends with today, um, smoked weed without me and didn't tell me because they thought I wouldn't want to.
Oh,
So I was pissed about that, and then Jeremy was like, "Well, come over tonight and whatever," and blah blah blah. So we go over there, and we smoked out of a pop can in Jeremy's shower in his basement because they didn't use the shower in the basement, and for some reason, because there was an exhaust fan right over it, so we turned on the
yeah.
exhaust fan and blew it into the exhaust fan. And I did not get. I don't think I got high like the first like probably 6 or 7 times that I smoked. And the first time I got high was the first time I smoked out of a water bong, and that was
Yeah.
that same year when Easter was on 420.
Hell yeah.
Actually, yeah, that was the first time. The first time I ever got high was on 420. It was when Easter Sunday was on 420. My brothers were over. We were over my mom's house, and we were going to go over my grandma's for Easter. And my brothers asked me if I wanted to go over Jamie's on the way there and smoke. And I was like, sure. And they packed up. He had this water bong they called the Green Monster because he had like a 3 foot plastic bong extension on it. So it was like almost like 4 feet of tube.
God
And
damn.
yeah, and I fucking I went to go hit it and I had never hit a bong before and I put my whole mouth over it. And I remember they're like, dude, you're not sucking a dick, you're smoking a bong. What the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know, I've never done this before, so they showed me how to do it. And then I remember I had no method at all. Like that was like I had no method. My brother told me uh that you fucking fill the chamber, blow out through your nose and then clear it.
I
Like
mean, on
that's
paper, that sounds like it would be easy to do, but I imagine if you've got no context as to what any of that means, or lighting
yeah.
habits, or any of that shit, like there's so many
Oh, I
things.
became I became a master of it, but it was it was
Yeah,
I loved bongs when I was in high school after like that was my favorite. Uh
I still
Jeremy
do
had
now.
Jeremy had this thing called a zong.
Oh yeah, that's like a big brand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is when they first came out, and they were like the big thing was that it was like the glass tube was like in the shape of a Z.
Yeah,
And
and everyone
yeah,
made it a huge thing.
yeah, yeah. But anyways, so I go to hit it, and I filled it up, and then I just started choking so hard that like I couldn't stop coughing. It was like 6 minutes probably. I could not stop coughing, and my brother asked me if I wanted a glass of water, so I get a glass of water. They go upstairs because Jamie wanted to show Chris his new surround sound system, and so he puts on like Star Wars on the TV upstairs or something, so he can hear the system. And so I'm hearing like lasers go off and shit, and 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 I drink this water, and I was so high, I literally felt the water like go down my throat. Like I like felt it go down my esophagus and into my stomach. and then and then I felt it slowly start to come back up.
Oh God.
Got and it got to like my chest and I was like, "Oh fuck." And I run upstairs to the bathroom, throw up for like fucking 5 minutes, just like projectile vomit into his fucking puke up all the water I just drank into his fucking toilet. And then I go back downstairs and I was so insanely high that like they were like, "All right, dude, it's time to go over to grandma's house." And I'm like, "I'm not going to grandma's
No.
house." They're like They're like, "What do you mean you can't not go to grandma's house?" I'm like, tell them I'm sick or something." And they're like, "Dude, like mom just saw you. Like we can't tell her that you just went over to Jamie's for a half an hour and got sick. Like what the fuck? You're going to grandma's house." So we go over there and I I guess whenever I was eating, every time I took a bite, I would close my eyes. and then and then I went and I didn't talk to anybody, and I'm usually like the most talkative person in my family. Didn't talk to anybody, and I fucking go and lay down on my grandma's couch and pass out, and I slept for like 6 hours.
Oh
Laying
my
on the
god.
couch. Yeah. My aunt, the next time my aunt saw me, she was like, "Don't ever go over none of that high again." And I'm like, "What?" And she's
How
like,
did
"Don't,
you know?
don't." She's like, "Don't even try." And I was like, "How did you know?" And she's like, "You closed your eyes every time you took a bite of food."
Did you at least let her know, like, hey, I opted to get out of this. This wasn't my choice. I
Yeah,
had made the point that I probably shouldn't be there.
yeah, oh yeah, I tried. Yeah,
God damn, dude.
not work. Yeah, it was
First
a that
time
was a great.
the first time I ever smoked weed was out of a gravity bong. It wasn't out of anything.
Oh, so you got high your first time?
I got like dumb high my first
Yeah.
time. Like I remember going, well, it was a friend that I was hanging out with, and like I didn't know him that well. We just kind of hit it off, oddly enough, at the at a hookah bar that my other friend brought me to, and we hung out with him and a few other people, but like the three of us became real good buds. And he had just got like an apartment at this real cracked out apartment place. It's still in Strongsville, but it's under new management, so I've heard it's a little better now. But I ended up moving in with him for a while, but this was before that. Uh, went over to his place. It was his idea. He called up some dealer that came over and dropped off like an eighth, and he packed up the gravity bomb because I'd always wanted to see one.
Yeah.
He had explained this to me before, told me that's what he was going to do. So I really wanted to see it in action. He invited me over to come see it. I didn't know that meant I was partaking too. And so he fills the little uh 10 millimeter socket that's wedged into the top of a 2 liter cap that's on the top part of a 2 liter that's been cut, and all of that's inside of a empty cleaned out milk jug. And he lights the top of it and pulls up on it just as one normally does. And once it's filled up, I thought he was about to hit it and show me like what what goes on with these. And he takes the cap off and he's like, "All right, go on." And I'm like, "What the fuck? What am I supposed to do?" And he was just like, "Put your mouth on it, breathe in, don't let the water hit your mouth," which is a lot simpler than having to do it with a regular water bong or anything. He had
Right.
already done all the hard shit. But I remember taking that hit and the water splashed onto my mouth, of course, which was disgusting. So I'm like coughing and spitting out water and all kinds of nastiness. My eyes are watering, man. I felt like I got maced. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I was blit. I was genuinely blitzed off of that little tiny bit of weed, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Insane.
Uh,
We ended up doing like one more after that, and I was cooked. I was just cooked for the night.
yeah. Yeah, dude. It's I don't know. First time I smoked out of a gravity bong, dude, that was one of the first times I ever got like super paranoid on
Yeah, I
weed.
could
That
see it.
was I was I think I was like 16, maybe 17. And I was 17 because I was working at Mr. Hero, and all of my friends worked at Mr. Hero, and there was this couple that worked at Mr. Hero. They were probably in their mid 20s, and their names were Brian and Julie. And Brian used to steal money out of the register all the time. He wouldn't steal money out of the register. He would just pretend to ring stuff in and take the money and not charge him for it, basically. And so our deal with him was that we wouldn't tell on him if he bought weed with the money. So
You extorted him
yeah.
in the
So we used to
best
go
way.
back yeah, so we used to go back to Jeremy's like every night and smoke, and um we had made a gravity bong, and I hit it, and again, choked out so hard my first time hitting one, and
They'll kill you.
at
They'll
one
absolutely kill
point,
you.
yeah, at one point, Jeremy had this in his basement. He had this like old school like booth, like his basement looked like it used to be like a prohibition bar or some shit. So there's like a bar, and then he had this like booth in the basement, like a restaurant booth, and I was I was underneath the booth, um, hiding because I thought I heard my mom's voice outside.
Oh,
Like I thought my mom was there, and I was gonna be in a shit ton of trouble. Like that was that's what I thought. So
and you were at least 16 at the time, right? I mean,
yeah, yeah. So my my mom and dad didn't know I smoked weed at all at that point in time. Like they had no clue. So I was like super paranoid they were gonna find out at some point, and yeah, I thought she was there, so I was hiding from her. I actually thought she was talking to a cop. Yeah, I was because Jeremy came downstairs and he came to the bottom of the stairs and looked at me hiding underneath the booth and just started laughing, and I was like, dude, what's going on up there?
dude, what?
Yeah, I was like, what's going on up there? And he's like, nothing, dude. And I'm like, dude, I swear to God, I heard a cop talking to my mom. He's like, he just started dying laughing. He's like, get the fuck out of there, dude. Like nobody. He's like, nobody other than your mom is upstairs right now. And I was like, what? And he like he like fucked with me for a minute, and I was like, you're a piece of shit, dude. Like,
When I lived in that cracked out apartment, we actually did have one of our friends' moms show up, and I mean, I wasn't 18 living there. Yeah, I was still 16 or 17. We had our other very, very, very anxious friend. He's always anxious, let alone when he smokes. But he was there with us, and then our third friend didn't actually smoke weed at all, but his mom was super overprotective of him. We used to call her the Penguin, like in Blues Brothers, like the nun, because yeah, she was ridiculous. She controlled what music he listened to, when he hung out with his friends, all that shit. Like he had like a secret MP3 player of all like the real music he was allowed to listen to, or I mean wasn't allowed to listen to, and he had like a separate one of music that his mom approved of. That was all
yeah,
like Will Smith rap and shit like that.
dude, my friend Olivia was like that. Her dad found her secret book of CDs that she had
Yeah,
and burned them.
he like footloose there. Oh my god,
Oh yeah, he burned her CDs.
that's insane. Okay, I'd be really pissed about that
And it
because
wasn't even anything that bad. Like it was all like Blink 182 and Bloodhound Gang and shit like that. And
it's music, man. It can't be that bad. I mean, I'm sure there's some rough things out there, but it's still just music. It cannot be that bad.
yeah, yeah.
That dude's
Damn,
mom.
I forgot about them until just now. The fucking Bloodhound Gang, dude.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant those friends, and you were like,
No,
oh yeah, but music burning seemed to bring them up to me.
no, I just forgot about Bloodhound Gang. We listened to them a lot back in the day. But yeah, man. I don't know. It has like I guess it does have a little bit of meaning to me because it was the first time I got high, but I've never really even thought about that on 420.
Getting higher
Um,
first time?
yeah, I've never even really thought about it on
Yeah,
420. I've told the story many times. I just never thought about it on the day. I don't know.
it's the only day I feel like obligated to do just dumb stonery shit. I do plenty of it regularly, but today I feel like I should, kind of go out of my way to do something like that. At least a little bit.
Yeah,
Nothing ridiculous.
yeah. I think my first concert was actually I think on 422. It was it couldn't have been no, it couldn't have been 420 because it was Easter Sunday too, and it wouldn't have been 420 on Easter twice in that period of time.
Nah, that only happens once in a while.
Yeah, I don't think. Anyways, how do you go to like how do you search that? Easter Sunday, it
You gotta know the
would have been
year.
2000. Oh yeah, no, it was the 23rd. I thought I was gonna say that might have been my first concert too, but
Still pretty close though.
yeah. No, my first concert was Easter Sunday on in 2000. I went to go see Smashing Pumpkins and at Kent State.
It's a pretty dope first concert.
Yeah, and it was the last. I went with my brothers and my brother's now wife, which was his girlfriend then. And yeah, I went with my brothers, and it was on Easter Sunday. I remember that because uh, Billy Corgan had this like giant pink blow up Easter bunny that he kicked into the crowd. It was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, man, I don't know. I hate all these. I keep seeing these 420 themed shows that people are doing, and
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
well, I'm not a fan because I see that like most of the people on those shows have zero jokes about weed. So I'm like, what?
Yeah, I get they don't all have to be jokes about weed. You'd get tired of that eventually, but you're right. You should probably,
Yeah,
if
it's a
that's the
themed
theme
show.
of, yeah, if that's the theme of the show, then yeah, you should definitely do that. That's hard though, man, because like I can't smoke before I go on. It really like, I mean, I can, but I shouldn't, and that it just feels like I'd feel so left out, the entire time. I'd be like, everyone's having fun, partaking, smoking, and doing all this stuff, and like,
Yeah,
it would feel like working that day, I guess.
yeah, for sure. um, I was trying to find some like I was trying to think of some like a stand-up's joke on weed that I remembered that was like a really good joke about weed, and I could not. I mean, I can think of some, but I couldn't think of any that stood out
Yeah,
to
Williams
me.
has one that I used to like about weed in DC. I mean, I'm sure it's
Yeah,
probably not as good comparatively now. I mean, I'm talking the weed, not the joke. But he was
yeah,
talking about like the ridiculous weed names that you get in DC, and he's just like, nope, it needs to say on the bag just regular weed. It needs to say regular weed, no thriller, no killer, no salmonella,
yeah.
regular weed. He had a
What
whole
is the
bit about
one
it.
that he had? It was the name, one of the names of weed that he had that I can't remember what it was, but he like said the name. Fuck, I can't remember what it was. You know what I'm talking about?
Cat
It was
Williams.
probably the same. It was probably the same joke. Yeah. Um.
It's been a while since I've seen that special. I would have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah. His first couple specials were fucking great,
I think
dude.
he's good. I like Cat Williams.
Um. There we go. Oh
He
no,
just gets
that's
so
just
goddamn sweaty during those specials that after a while you're like, God damn, that just looks uncomfortable. And he's got
yeah,
on like a 17-piece suit, and you're like, well, that's probably fucking why. You don't do that.
right.
Same way with
Yeah,
everyone doing like leather specials where they wear all leather. I'm like, do you have any fucking idea how hot that's gonna be after like 20 minutes?
yeah,
Let alone an hour. Under like theater lighting? Okay, that seems like a terrible idea.
yeah, yeah, dude. I'm trying to find this fucking thing. I can't.
That specific joke.
It's gonna drive me nuts. Yeah, like he says the name of the weed, and it's something to where it's some type of weed name where it like puts you out or whatever. I can't remember what the fuck it was.
Oh man, that's
He's
gonna
like, and
now
he
I'm
like says the name of it, and he's like, I got shit to do today. Like like
yeah.
yeah, that was like one of my favorite jokes of his. It pisses me off. I can't
Oh,
remember.
I do remember the other part of that joke in that same special where he was talking about the chemicals in weed, and he's like, "There's a chemical in weed called fuck it."
Yeah,
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 and he's like,
yeah,
"People have an electric bill. It's a huge electric bill. They take one hit of weed, and they're like, fuck them lights. I got candles I've been
yeah,
waiting to
yeah,
burn."
yeah, yeah. Fuck them goddamn lights. Yeah, I remember.
That was a
That
good
was good.
special. Damn. I
Um,
might have to go on a Cat Williams trip a little later. Rewatch some
his
early
later
Cat
shit,
Williams.
yeah, his later shit has not been great,
No, it doesn't measure up. It really doesn't. I
but
still like
most
him better than Kevin Hart. That's just my opinion.
but that's most comedians. Like
Oh,
it is. We were talking about that last night at Funny Stop. It is most comedians um, who blow up will have like two really really good specials, and then they kind of taper off. Like there's the rarities like Louis C.K.,
Tom
uh,
Segura.
Tom Segura, um, Chappelle until the latest one. Like
Yeah.
I mean, but his first two were by far his best. You can those stick out
Oh
as
yeah.
his best.
His like I feel like they're not like declining, but I don't know if they've plateaued. It gets to a point where you're like, I mean, what more do you want him to do? God damn. That's gotta be hard to just try to one up anything in his career.
Yeah, yeah. Bargatze's one. I mean, I like his new stuff, but Tennessee Kid was just so fucking good. I don't think he'll ever top it. Like it was
No.
so good, and he's not as he's not as relatable now. Like he's rich Nate now. Like
There's gotta be
he's not
something to that where you
he's
just
not
don't.
like sloppy looking good old boy Nate anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's
That's what I
like
wonder with some of these guys, like Tom Segura, especially Bert Kreischer anymore. Like I know he's got like a family and stuff, and he does tell more jokes about like his family and shit. But like it
yeah.
gets to a point where you can't, you're not gonna make jokes about going to the grocery store or how much of a bitch it is to wait in line for shit or things like that, mundane, nonsensical shit.
Well, that's what it's like, dude. Like with Nate Bargatze, like it's like, man, how are we supposed to like the whole like I'm so dumb kind of thing that he does isn't as believable when he's like a producer and shit. You know what I mean? Like
That's a good point too. I'm like,
it's like
I don't know, man. You
are
can't
you
play
do
that
because you
card.
seem to be doing pretty well with money and all that shit. Like it's not.
Yeah, you could drop the act, man.
Yeah,
The results speak for themselves.
that's why I know people get annoyed with it, but I like Tom Segura's like attitude that he has now where he talks about the pores all the time and
Yeah,
shit. Like it's
man.
like it is fucking hilarious to
He's
me.
very self-aware of it anymore. And I mean, I
Yeah.
was watching some of his stuff today at work because I have a lot of time at work. And I was going back to some of his older stuff, thinking like, when was the last time I watched this? And throw it on, and I'm like, damn, his newer stuff is actually a lot better than his older stuff, and it just seems to keep progressing, man. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Even you could even hear it in the crowd. People aren't like losing their minds in some of his earlier stuff. You get to ball hog and you're like, holy shit, this dude's,
Yeah, he's a
I mean, I
genius.
can't wait. It's just gonna keep getting better from here, apparently.
I've seen his new shit and it is fucking funny. I
I
mean, it
mean,
is
good on
really
him. He
funny.
deserves it. He really deserves
Yeah.
it.
I think he already recorded it. I'm pretty sure his newest special. Uh,
Probably.
but yeah, I saw it at the Agora in the early not at the Agora. I saw it at Playhouse Square in like the early days of it. And
Bert
me and Jimmy,
Kreischer's kind of he's following that path too a little bit, too, like as far as like glowing up instead of burning out.
I don't know. I'll have to give his new special another chance because I fell asleep. Like,
Everyone's been telling me how great it is. I haven't watched it myself yet.
yeah, I'll have to give it a chance.
I wasn't a huge fan of the one where he did "I Am the Machine." Like I wasn't a huge fan of that special.
I'd never watched it. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie, dude. I never got into Bert's stand up because I just like him on podcast, and I just don't like. I
I get
watched
it.
his one special that he came out with during COVID, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't like great, but it was okay. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I've literally been listening to him on podcast for like I don't know until it was a couple months ago, like probably 4 years, until I finally looked up the machine bit and
Yeah,
watched it. And it's a funny bit,
but
but
it's
like
not.
I don't think it's a bit like that like you like make your career off of,
No, it
but he
should not
did.
be. But he
He
well,
did.
he also kind of surrounded himself with people like that would help put you on the map a lot. I mean, I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some of that in there. From
Oh
the way
yeah,
he talks
he's
about
the
his like
worst.
the way he talks about his comedy and like what he does as far as everything in life, it just sounds like he put fucking everything he had into comedy and just busting his
Yeah.
ass, and that's really what got him to where he's at.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he's the
with
first to tell you too. Like he always talks shit about he always says shit about how Kevin Hart saying that the only reason he's at where he is because of his hard work ethic and all this shit. And he was like, Bert will call him out and be like, "No, dude, there's a lot of luck in this comedy shit. Like it's not
big
just work
time,
ethic. There's a lot of people that work their ass off that are really good comics that aren't famous.
yeah, man,
I
big
mean,
facts, and you see it all the time. There's so many people that if you just had like the magic golden ticket to make people famous, like yeah, I feel like you just hand them out like candy sometimes.
yeah,
Is that when you see people at these festivals or people that just grind their ass off to get better. And I mean,
dude.
there's people in all aspects of it too that genuinely do grind their ass off, be it, great comics, be it people that are just open micers that probably won't be more than that. I mean, there's people that bust their ass in every caliber of comedy.
Yeah, I mean, you got like Kyle Kinane, for instance. Like his latest special on YouTube got 535,000 views in 2 weeks, but it's on YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Kyle Kinane, like doesn't get like the attention that some comics get that are not as funny as he is. You know what I
Hey
mean?
man, dude. Trampoline in a
Like
Ditch is like one of my favorite
oh
comedy
yeah,
albums of all time. I think that was one of my favorites by far.
I'm actually thinking trying to decide if it's too inappropriate to when he comes to hilarities to get him to sign my vinyl of trampling in a ditch.
Get it, dude.
Yeah,
I would.
yeah. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like Dave Stone is a really good comedian that's just never gotten the fucking attention they should. He was on Last Comic Standing and I think he's done some shit for like Squidbillies and shit. But he's Kyle Kinane's podcast mate. Great fucking comic. His special comes out May 5th on YouTube. Um, it's just weird. I mean, I don't see like the YouTube thing is great if you have the subscribers to get paid for doing it.
Facts.
But like people putting out their specials on YouTube that like don't aren't even their YouTube's not even monetized. I don't get the point of it. It's like
Yeah,
you're basically earning material, not getting anything from it. I mean,
if you're trying to get, monetized and you think that's a good way to get a good
maybe, yeah.
start
If
on
you're like on
something,
the edge, maybe like if you're like
yeah.
almost there where you have that many subscribers.
That's where
Uh,
comedy gets like real dicey is like the next stage, like the serious stage where you're like, oh shit, it's we're past the writing the jokes. It's you gotta
yeah,
get money. You have to factor the best circumstances for you. People are gonna try to fuck you over in big or small ways, left or right, all of the time. And you have to like just chart those waters. You're supposed to just know how to handle all that stuff. And that's the dicey part, man. That's where comedy starts to get nerve wracking for me, at least.
yeah, yeah, dude. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the past year to be
Mm.
monetized.
I
Or or it says 1,000 subscribers with 10 million valid public shorts views within the past 90 days.
damn.
So 10
I
million
was
in 90 days is a fucking lot, dude.
yeah, I was like, damn, I might have, I don't know, close to 100,000 in total. I have no idea. I haven't
Yeah.
checked in a long time. But I thought I was doing pretty good with the shorts, but if that's the bar, no the fuck I am not.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks so bad.
Well, what sucks is we don't really have the rooms around here to be like recording 3 or 4 times a week and taking clips from it. Like we just don't have that many good rooms around here.
No.
And
No. And
that sucks because you see other people in other scenes and you're like, fuck, they're releasing clips like every fucking day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they stockpile a lot of those, or those are like crowd work mics, or
Yeah,
we don't know the context, all that. But you're right; they still
yeah,
clearly have the better opportunity at it.
yeah. But
And
yeah, man, this is the we're at the point in comedy now, for 4 years in, pretty much, where it's like this is when you really have to um start to push, and it's like you have to push for yourself. Nobody else is gonna do it. Like
yeah,
that. It's all up to you. Like no one else is gonna help you fucking push for. I mean, it's you get people that'll ask you to do shows and shit, but I'm saying like with like getting into clubs and shit, you have to do it on your own.
yeah,
And
for the most part.
even if it is that you got recommended by somebody for a club, like that's because you fucking impressed a headliner that wanted to recommend you. Like
And just showed that
it's
you're
all
good
you.
enough.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the hard part. Is like I don't know. I feel like between the both of us at this point, all the clubs that are in the country, there have been worse people on those stages than us. Like
Oh
period.
yeah,
Every club in the country, there are the worst people than us have been on those stages. So I'm not. It's not that I'm not confident in my ability to handle crowds like that. It's not a problem. I've done it. We've done clubs, we've done theaters, we've done all the things. Now it's
yeah,
just a matter of like what do I got to do? What do I got to do to get on that stage? It's clearly not demonstrate my talent. I can show people videos. I can show people all that. That's not what's going to get you there. It's
yeah,
it's beyond that. It's the intangibles. It's the luck. That's the hard part. That's
yeah,
the hard part to come by.
yeah.
I
I
can
mean,
make the laughs happen. I can send videos of the laughs happening. That's
yeah,
accounted for.
yeah, that's for sure. I fucking hope this isn't gonna fuck things up because I forgot to plug in my hard drive. Hopefully it'll be good. We might get
Either
little
way, I'm
dings.
recording it too. So if we have to
All
separate the
right.
sound file that way,
Yeah. But yeah, man. These couple months are gonna be crazy, dude. There's a lot. I have a lot of shit going on. Um, this weekend. I don't know. We're like 35 minutes in. Might as well
yeah,
start talking about this shit. This weekend, featuring for Joe Mackey at Funny Stop. I'm gonna put this out right after we're done. There's only about 30 tickets left on each of the late shows, and the early shows are sold out for both Friday and Saturday. So, gonna be a fun fucking weekend. Um, I mean, get to work with one of my favorite comics and one of my favorite joke writers too. He's just fucking incredible. And I was pissed I didn't get to work with him last year. Pete, I think, co-featured somebody last year for Joe Mackey
I
and
can't
put up
remember.
a shit ton of guest spots. So he said no guest spots this year, and I'm like,
What?
yeah. I'm like, well, that sucks for people, but I'll take the 25 minutes every show. Um, and what else? I'm getting off track here. Yeah. Joe Mackey this weekend. Um, Next weekend I'm in Wisconsin with Tim Wolf. The first week of May is the Rubber City Comedy Festival. Make sure you get tickets to the roast battle because both Brandon and I are on it. That'll be fun. And then we have Sassy's on May 13th. I have Gabe Gary's new show on May 19th in Northfield, which I'm not going to promote until we sell out Sassy's. And then I'm doing a show with Mary at Foundry Social on June 1st in Medina, and then going to New York the second full week in June with a crew of fucking hooligans. It's gonna be a good time, dude. Fucking Flem Love, Kevin Oskapovich, Jacob Bunny, and Tim Wolf. It's gonna be an interesting crew.
That is an interesting crew.
So it'll be fun. I'm trying to get down there 2 days early. I got to find somebody to stay with though. Um, yeah, it's gonna be fun times. What do you got coming up, Brandon?
You promoted half of it. Yeah. Outside of what you said, flagship comedy festival next weekend
Oh,
is going to
nice and
be super
eerie.
dope. Yep, Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm coming back for you. First show I'm doing is at the Edinburgh Fire Department.
Oh,
That's
nice.
going to be wild. I don't
That's
know, man. I'm
cool.
covering my grounds and doing comedy in all kinds of weird places, man. It's
Hell
great.
yeah. Hell yeah, in
So
the
much
fire
fun.
department. That's tight. Um, oh yeah, and Imposters Theater Triple Threat Mike is moving to Thursdays.
Yes, I got to respond to them. They asked me
Yeah.
for avails.
So I'll be
I'm still
doing May
learning to do
11th.
that.
May 11th at Imposters Theater. The show Friday with John Armstrong was tight. It was a fun show. Jimmy hosted. Molly Frats and Cam both had good sets. I did not see Tegan. I've never met her before, but it sounded like she was doing well from downstairs. Because their green room's downstairs, like right underneath the stage, so you can like hear the laughter.
That's really cool.
Shit, yeah. So like me and John were down there talking the whole time. Everybody else was going up because we were second to last and last. So
And you had
we were
time.
just like talking and hearing the laughter downstairs. It was pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that place has a real cool feel to it. I like it a lot. If you go to the bathroom, I will warn you. If you've been to the old Imposters Theater, they did transfer the um, large human man cutout that was in the bathroom. So it will scare the fuck out of you if you just walk in and turn the light on and don't know
Nice and
it's in
uncomfortable.
there. Yeah, it just looks like there's a fucking 6 foot tall man standing in the bathroom that you just walk. What the fuck? Uh, but yeah, man. Our new podcast is the first episode went great. Jimmy Killy's had some concerns about some stuff he said that he forgot we were on the internet. So, well,
Did he bomb? That's the question. And if
yeah,
so,
yeah,
how hard did he bomb?
correct. Yeah, and I think the first release of that will release one on the Brown Petri Dish podcast thread as well as the new thread.
It's a good
And
idea.
yeah, and then we'll probably release like one Patreon episode on the Brown Petri Dish thread just to give you guys an exclusive Patreon to listen to. So
Next episode, we will be either doing the one chip challenge or summoning demons into John's house. One of the two.
hell yeah. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later, man. I'm gonna get going.
Later, man.
Later.